Okay, just answering questions with waptek. It has to do with the Delphi case. I'm asking this. Why do you say as the car drives? That's not a thing. Counterpoint. I'm talking about the fact that police are stuck dealing with roads most of the time, and they might estimate distances by odometer. They may not use GPS. If you use GPS distance, direct line, your line crosses just long and north of the location. Yeah, I acknowledge that. I'm not sure what you're trying to establish, confirm, or argue by this video, but the site where the bodies were found, Ron Logan's property, is clearly shown in the interviews with Ron Logan standing in that area, surrounded by police, crime scene tape, while he was being interviewed on TV. Yes, but the place he was standing was a road where they could see his house in the background. He was nowhere near the location. The ones that everybody points to are different. If you have not already seen his channel, I suggest you look at Anthony Greeno's channel. He's a boots on the ground, etc. And he used the drone to film the area. I actually checked some of his videos. He doesn't have any videos that show information at the time that this happened, when the crime scene tape was up, and a wide-angle shot of anybody showing where the hell this happened and making it crystal clear and using local sight lines and various objects in the distance so that a person could figure out exactly where it is without just being told, oh, this is where it is on the map. I need better than being told where it is. And I'm going to go on and we're going to review what I said in the video. The reason I did a video before is someone asked me how I came to the conclusion that the two individuals who were killed were found over here. Now, this is an assumption I made based on the fact that a piece of information came out that, and this was in the few days afterwards, that from this location, the bridge where the photos were taken, due east of that, 1/2 mile, not a quarter mile, 1/2 mile, not 40 or 30 feet or 60 feet or 70 feet, 1/2 mile away was where they were found. Now, there's two ways of measuring that. One of them is a completely straight line from there, which goes way off the edge of the map on the screen here. The other way is to go along the riverbank and count steps, and it was on the north bank, and it was here. So that's 1/2 mile, by the way. So anywhere from this line south would work. I also included on the other side of the river to see if I could get a vastly different number, and really it's not that different. The minimum distance is here, because if you make this a straight line, it's way off the screen. Next, that puts it right there if you're curious. About 1/2 mile east of the abandoned deck girder bridge. And the other statement that was made for an estimate was, as your straight line was talking about, 1 mile east of the Freedom Bridge, which is this bridge here. The minimum distance to the right would be this, based on this distance here, would be here or here, which lines up with the guy's property that everyone's talking about. That's where he actually lives. That's his house, according to the maps and his own records and own tax records. If we go by, as I said, as the car drives or the odometer, we end up with it literally being at his house, and we end up with them doing an estimate based on them driving a car, approximately. We can make it even shorter and almost but not quite get over to this edge. But having both these numbers at hand, we have a range from here to here at the extreme end, going out here, which is right here. And at the minimal distance, we go from here and here, which means we could be over here. So we have a stretch averaging out along the riverbank here. Now, that's the information I got originally a long time ago. That's where I got the information from. This is the same thing I did, I don't even know how many days after this happened, I did the same estimate. Under no circumstances did I ever estimate that it would be south of this cemetery. And also, a bunch of people pointed out that there's a video of a helicopter flying around in circles, pointing at literally everything, and they point to a certain part and says, that's where it is. Okay, but in the recording is the person who's talking in the background, which in most of the cases there weren't any talking, it was just the sound of the helicopter. When I listen to and watch video, it's evident that the commentator, that the reporter, is talking without knowing what the hell's on the screen, or may not even know what they're looking at. No one, and I mean literally no one, on television from a helicopter said, it's here, or it's here, and said that's definitively it because, and then there's people there or whatever. What I did find was a bunch of static websites specifically news sites that said specifically this location right here is where the body was found, or here. There's a sandbar there. And some other people have pointed out that that's a place you could cross. It's shallow, so that's where they must be too. The majority of them actually said that. Next, this is the property map and the property line of the person who owns the property, who said it was on his property. I've also had someone say that later on he said it wasn't. The interview you see with him being done is being done here, or here, pointing at his house, or pointing this way. It's not at the location. They're not allowed to walk around on the crime scene. There are other videos later on, but they don't definitively point out where it's located. Some people have told me that they're definitively showing where it is, but there isn't any sign of that. I also like to point out that his property line matches pretty close to the edge very nicely, but not into the stream. Okay? And those are the 4 properties. Next statement. Excellent job with the graphics. The body location you show is the general consensus position. That's why I said it. That's why I was using it. Here is a point no one has ever brought up or presented. The topographical map for this area shows a terrain that could have been advantageously used. The USGS topo map, seasonal tributary for Deer Creek, 200 or 300 feet west of the body location. Okay, let's go back. 200 or 300 feet west of the body location. So he might be talking about this here. There's an obvious gotch there, but I don't know. The little stream has a NS north-south stream bed, okay, that is in size 6 to 10 feet. It would provide reduced visibility, an unobserved escape access route to the cemetery. The elevation difference between them is 70 feet. Okay? So, this is approximately where the bodies were, but okay. So, I'm assuming this is it. Okay, that's a good thing to look into, and according to one of you, there's somebody who's in the area, but he uses Google Maps to show the pathway and positions, and it's an assertion he's making. But I don't know what that's based on. And I don't have, it's neither here nor there. Obviously, I am not. But anyway. But that's an interesting piece of information. So, right there, this right here is very interesting. If somebody knows of anybody in Delphi, have them go check that out. And have them map out where it is very clearly, please. Looks cold out. I'd like to help you, etc. Someone wants to help me and give me something. Thank you for shedding new and real light on this case. Well, you're welcome. But I'm getting told I don't know what I'm talking about, as well as other things. Also, the only pathway I'm seeing here is this little zigzag here, and there's several of them down from the cemetery. So I don't know. Anyway, again, to review, I'm being told that it can't be here because XYZ, and then they point to interviews where someone's standing here and pointing a camera this way, or standing here and pointing a camera this way, or there's crime scene tape, and you can't tell where it's coming from. If anybody knows of a video where the owner of the property absolutely makes an unambiguous statement, it was right over there, and then points a certain direction, and that video has plenty of context so we can find out where it is, that's great. I'm sure most of you are tired of hearing this. I am as well. I don't know if this is even important anymore. The reason I'm making this video is because people keep telling me, well, I've deleted the comments where people are telling me, you're just trying to make such and such YouTuber look bad. If someone comes to my channel throwing drama shade, I don't really think there's any reason to address it, but I'll just do it right now. No, the video I posted, this is like dealing with Opharians, was a response to someone asking me, how did you come to the conclusion that the most likely location for the two of them was in this area? Okay, I've explained that. Then another person says, why are you doing that? And right at the top of the video, I explain the same thing I just did. Please don't post under this video, well, why are you saying this? I just explained why. I'm not talking to all of you that are watching that are reasonable people. I mean the ones that keep coming to the channel and act like they're just trying to start shit. I don't know why that's happening. It's not relevant. I don't even think that I'm not really important or anything here. I'm nothing, okay? But it is a little weird that I'm getting this kind of weird feedback. If this is the wrong location, you have a definitive, unambiguous statement from something that day or the day with weeks afterwards, where an independent source totally shows that it was over here or something, that's fine. But that has to be somebody doing that. The only thing I've seen is one guy who said, I was in the area, and he just points to this part of the map and says that's where they were. There's no proper evidence for it. And that's only 2,000 feet away or less. And one person even said that they were 47 feet or 50 feet away from the bridge. That's not true at all. That can't be, because it would totally be not with anything. And another person said it absolutely has to be here because they saw something on camera that definitely showed the edge of this, and there were search teams out. Yeah, they're looking for evidence. They're looking for any, broken sticks or something. They're not at where the bodies were. If anybody has a definitive answer, great. If you don't, okay. The other thing is, I really have to say this one more time. The police department could have put up a map on their site for the subject matter saying, this is where the body was found, or this is where the bodies were found, or over here. The only thing that's been said is they were within 50 feet of this stream, north of it. So it's along this pathway. That's it. If anybody wants to shed some light on it, post a link to a video the exact second, and it has to show unambiguously someone stating it is here, and it has to be someone who immediately got the information from the police department, FBI, or whatever. It cannot be somebody who says, it's my theory, or this is where I think it happened. Or them just saying blithely, that's where it was, and then they don't explain why. Again, all of the news sites that I could find immediately afterwards pointed literally to this spot here as being where they were found. Later on, a couple of them pointed out another location, and what they were pointing out was where a search team was. That's all. And a couple of them are outtakes from a video where a helicopter's flying around in circles, and they're talking about it. And they're not saying what's on the screen has anything to do with it. If you don't know this, most news teams, when they have the helicopter flying around, they don't look at the monitor to see what the helicopter's seeing, because it's not relevant. After the first 20 minutes, they don't care what's on the screen. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just filler material on the screen so that they can be off camera talking into a microphone. So I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, these images were included in the links below on the previous video if anybody wanted to look at them. I'll just include a copy of everything I've got here anyway. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.